I think you're right. You know, we might change it up next week. I have picked 3 tweets for you, my good sir. 3 tweets.
And we are live. What's up? What's up? How we doing? Hello, FanFest. Hello, Twitter. Hello, YouTube, Twitch, all those good things. And for you sweet, sweet people watching the replay, listening to the audio version, appreciate you. I am Crunk Chocolate, and I'm here with the show, bro. Hold on, there we go. With the show, bro, Lando. How's it going, homie?
It's good, man. Good. I'm a little disappointed on the no Gundo today, but we move. Great to be with you. Wonderful Thursday night. Let's stream. I'm having a Modelo. Wherever you are, whoever you are, joining us. Enjoy yours. Let's have a great Let's stream.
I mean, there's no better place, I guess, to start right now than with this whole Gundo situation. I'm trying to figure out how am I gonna phrase this, because
you've been very cautious. I want to give a disclaimer here. I want to note, just for the record, out of all the members of Shades of Blue, Crunk is the only one I actually, truth be told, do not know how he feels about this. So what's about to come out of his mouth is going to be very interesting to me. Please continue.
Man. Okay, so I'm obviously super happy. I'm thrilled. And honestly, it's not even about Gundo himself. It's how many fake sumbitches are acting super excited, super tapped into everything, when if we looked, they were probably hating on Gundo, glad he was leaving, being super bitter about him going to Brocolonia. Like, it's just to see how people flip and change. Ugh, it's just gross, and it just leaves me the heebie-jeebies, and it's just been bumming me. Like, other people, because I put it in the group chat, and I didn't mean specifically because of, people are tracking the flights, like that's what makes them like Barca stands, but it's just the fact that, which, like, respect, but it's just like, I feel this is my new hot take. Those like super crazy fan accounts, they're making up for something that they lack. That there's like a connection they don't have with the actual sport of football that I think they're trying to make up with through hyperbole and fucking just unhinged tweets. And I don't know. It's just like, people bum me out sometimes. And that's my whole take on all of it. Everybody else is ruining my excitement for Gundo.
Gundo back tomorrow, hopefully. Right? Hopefully we get the official announcement tomorrow.
Wake up to the information. Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to maybe predict as to how we're going to get it? I mean, is it too easy for me to sit here and just say that Man City is going to tweet ice cream cone emoji?
Like, no, if Chelsea made a whole real post for João Felix, we have to match that energy. We can't let João Felix coming back to Chelsea like outdo Gundogan coming back.
There are 2 of us on this list stream right now, and 50% of us watch this fucking shit. I didn't even know João Felix had this, so I don't know. The numbers are the numbers there for João Felix in an introduction. He got this.
Yeah, it's
I wasn't aware.
It was just him dribbling to Homecoming, but it was specifically Chris Martin's part, not any of Kanye's. But I mean, respect. Like, also, it's England, so of course it's Chris Martin.
Yeah.
God, that's the good Kanye. That's the Kanye that we can listen to and not get upset about. Anyway,
the fun Kanye.
Man, I love that song though.
Backpack Kanye.
But we need something. We need like the Mr. Whippy. I love the idea that Tarek said about him. So I'm not even gonna say it out loud. That's gonna be on Sunday's recording.
Tap in.
But yeah, shout out to everybody who's here in the chats.
Let's get that
building, like, having fun. Now Crunk is cautious. Hey, you guys would be shocked at how many takes I actually don't get off. I actually keep to myself. I don't even put them in drafts because I'm afraid of getting hacked and then people just releasing all of my drafts, and then we would be in a lot of trouble. So, nope. Yeah, I'm super cautious this year because you know me. I love a good rap beef. I love a good pod beef. I love a good beef in general. But I'm learning 3 years into this. Let's not drag my show bros into my mess that I find entertaining, but they might not. And also, y'all all like other people in the city content world, and some of them I don't. So like, I sometimes I want to be shooting at people, but then all of a sudden I'll see you like chatting with them on Twitter, and I'm like, well, there goes that. Can't.
Crunk beef. It's what's for dinner. Per
Okay.
DT3.
Let's get our show started. We have 3 fantastic guests. The homie Fed, met him in North Carolina, so I'm excited to connect with him a little bit more. We got the homie Jonathan and Eric Wahl, like super most dope guests for you. And so let's start it off. You know how we do with the list stream. We always start off. Wow, this ring light is very bright and it's warm. We always start off bringing on a citizen. You know, let us feel warm, home, and comfortable before we, respectfully, they're guests, but potentially bringing on ops because I don't know what they are, but he got real itty, and I don't think we're gonna get any of that today. But Shady Gang, please welcome the homie Fed from Nutmeg City FC. What's up, my guy?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for that intro.
Yeah, man. How are you? How's things?
Things are good, man. Yeah, I'm here at my house, just kind of getting myself together. I'm going to be going to New York for the weekend. So just planning to pack the right things for the things I want to do out there.
I'm on like the brink of fall. I'm in the Midwest. Like I said, I knew it's gonna be a moment. It's gonna be a moment, but he's gonna be here. Big J journalist. He always makes it dramatic. Big old dramatics. How's it going, Tom Bomb?
Oh, just living the life, living the dream.
Yeah. So Fed, you're going to New York. So first, tell us a little bit about Nutmeg City, because when I bumped into you, you're like, I'm going to be going to these things to work on some content, make some content. We followed each other and like scroll through your stuff, and it's super fun, most dope. So please plug yourself, what you do. Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so Nutmeg City FC, that's basically just like it's primarily my YouTube channel. That's where I make most of my content, and it's really around collecting soccer jerseys. A lot of city stuff, a lot of Argentina stuff because I'm from Argentina, and then anything that looks good. I don't necessarily condone buying rival teams, but if it's a nice kid and it's maybe a player that you respect, I do have some of those. Unfortunately, I do have, because of the kind of collections that I go for, unfortunately, I do have one Man United shirt, but that's because it was more because I was trying to collect an Argentina World Cup winning squad collection. So things like that happen because of it.
That's actually kind of dope. Respect. That's a good
Thank you.
reason. Also, I don't want to chime in too much. I have a question for you.
I'm not tapped into United like that. Who's the Argentinian winning player for
Lisandro Martinez.
Oh, he's Argentinian.
Yeah.
I just know he's the butcher, and that's all I need to know about Mans.
Are you full Argentinian?
Yeah, so I wasn't born there. My mom's side of the family's from Argentina.
And your father's side?
My dad's from Peru.
Peruvian. Okay.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I lived in Peru, and every year we would go to Argentina for Christmas. So I've been there many times, but I haven't been there in a while now.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, so I mean, is that what you're gonna? Well, first off, let's stay in North Carolina. How overall was your experience? Because I saw you that first day, and then I never saw you again. So I assumed you were busy.
Yeah. Oh man. So a lot of that was very unexpected because I went there with just intention of going to my first city games. I've never been to city game before. Never been to Manchester. So that was really my first city experience. So obviously I wanted to get like the full bread and butter of the whole experience. So Sunday was that gathering with the fans, with the citizens, and all like the the supporter groups, and that's where I met you. And that was a really fun event. The best part was the food. The food was so good.
Yeah.
I was so hungry, and yeah, the food was there. We got to meet Sean Wright Phillips. Julian Lescott was there, so it was really cool to see them. I got to meet FG, which I didn't even know he was going to be there, so that was really cool. And the next day, the plan was just to go to open training, which I'm sure you were there as well. But then for some reason, I don't know how this even happened, but a buddy of mine who was also there, also a content creator, he got us media access to the open training. So I got to be a part of that press conference with Pep Guardiola, Oscar Bob, and also the Celtic team as well. And I was there in the same room with Pep Guardiola. I don't know how I got to be there. I didn't deserve to be there because my content is just soccer jerseys. So like, I don't talk about like tactics or anything like that, but it was just so surreal to be in that same room with him. And that was definitely the highlight of that experience in North Carolina. And then obviously the next day was the game, and that was just, amazing as well. But yeah, that was my experience in North Carolina. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, great.
Did you peep the massive amount of cotrachos out there? Personally, I'm Honduran, so it hit. I was out there with my people. So though, what did you think about that? Obviously, they have a particular player that plays for them now for Celtic, so I think that's why everybody was there. But what were your thoughts?
No, it was cool to see. It was really cool to see. At the press conference, there was actually a guy also from Honduras that was there for like asking questions and doing his own little thing as well. And I got to talk to him a little bit afterwards during the open training. And yeah, no, it's definitely cool that there's that excitement as well. Everyone from Honduras is pretty happy to have that kind of representation over in Celtic. So no, I think that was really cool. I also bought a Celtic jersey while I was out there, just because it was a nice. Number one's a nice kit.
It is a nice.
And
nice.
two, I think it's just more like just for the experience that I had over there. It was. I just wanted to have that shirt as well.
Okay, so I want to actually hear your best and worst kits in the Prim right now, but I want to start at worst because I'm hoping there's some fun out of this. But actually, I don't think you're gonna actually go at anybody worthwhile.
I will say Leicester's away. I don't know, it has like that kind of like spray paint, or I don't know. It's I don't know if you've seen that already, but I don't know. That one just looks kind of weird to me.
Oh, I see it. Wow. It looks like, yeah, if I was like, yeah, let me make my own kit, but all they let you make it with was
that's not a keeper kit?
No.
It does actually
It
kind of
does
look
have
like a
keeper kit vibes.
It
yeah,
has big
fair.
keeper kit vibes.
Yeah.
So y'all just got 10 outfield players wearing that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to say it's like disgusting or horrible, but like I don't want to be mean, but like it's not. I don't know. That's like training top.
I would rather die than wear it.
I'm not saying that either. No. I mean, man, like if Man City put out a kit like that has to be a training top like that. Yeah, that's not. And also that sponsor, like that Pac-Man looking, like,
bro,
not the best.
That's
Doesn't it look like they put like some sort of object over the three logos, the Adidas, the badge, and the sponsor, and then some little bit left over, and then they spray painted all around it, and then they lifted it and said, "Ta-da! Here it is."
Yeah,
like
no, literally,
it's just a black hit. Oh yeah, because here's the back. Oh
it's
my
like
god, and it's circled out. Oh my gosh, that's even worse.
Yeah, it is.
Bro,
no,
I mean,
it's literally like
theoretically, that would be for the name set and the number set, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like this part, the bottom part down here. But and I mean, for the players.
So basically, you got to chuck your shit in. For it to look even semi-right. Okay.
Like, why did they even zone in on this? Like, this was like something cool. It's just all right, Lester. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's next? Let's keep pooping on people. Let's go.
No, I think that's the only one that really stood out to me, to be honest with you. I mean, I think maybe Nottingham Forest. It's kind of
They repeated, if I remember right.
Really?
Or is that Brentford?
Brentford usually does repeat, but I think their away kit is different this time. I actually don't think theirs is too bad. It's like
the away kit.
Green. It's like a dark green with some light greens. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, again, not the greatest thing in the world either, but no, dude, Lester was the one that stood out to me the most. Like I can't even picture the other ones right now because of that one.
It's just taking up all the headspace.
Yeah, right, no, it really is. It really is.
Who's a kid that you enjoy then?
I mean, I don't want to be biased here, but
here we go.
Our Man City away kid. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on. I mean, that has to be. I mean, that's a solid 10 out of 10. That kid.
Yeah.
Facts.
Obviously, if I had to choose between the original, like the 1999 one versus the one from today, I would choose the 1999 one. But come on, that kid is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I see that kid, and I just think like Alexa, play "Classic Man" by Janetta. Like,
I like that though.
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't heard that song in a while, man.
Now you gonna play it tomorrow? I bet you that.
Oh, I'm gonna play it later when I'm after I knock a couple more of these little sums out. I'm like,
it's already on cue. It's already on cue.
Janette's probably at the DNC right now. He probably is, honestly.
Probably waiting to watch Beyonce like everybody else.
Like everybody else. Oh my god. Man. Okay. As much as this is gonna pain me, I would like to hear your thoughts on Argentina, just as a national team, killing it, World Cup, Copa America. And I guess we can talk a little bit about Julian Alvarez leaving City.
I mean, just to talk about Argentina as a whole, I mean, I've been waiting to see Argentina win a trophy since I was 9 years old. My first experience with Argentina was the 1998 World Cup. And ever since then, I've been waiting, and nothing would happen. So, like, them winning the Copa America in 2021 was a big thing for me, but it does not compare at all when they won the World Cup. When they won Copa America, I was like, yeah, we did it. Yay. When we won the World Cup, I kid you not, I was crying. Like, I felt like I was that 9-year-old that so desperately wanted to see Argentina win was finally happy. So, like, it was just, I cannot explain that feeling. Like, it's just something that you just don't know you just know the feeling until you feel it. So yeah, no, it's been a real amazing time for me as an Argentinian to see that happen. And now that when the Copa America in 2024, like it's a good feeling, but nothing will ever compete to that first feeling of winning the World Cup. And now, Julian Alvarez unfortunately is now gone, and I really wanted to get the away kit with his name on the back. Now I don't know what to do. So I'm really sad about that. If Gundo does come back, that could be an option maybe. We don't have to get into that if you don't want to. We can if you want, but Julian for me is definitely for me it's a big loss. I mean, I got into City because of all the Argentinian players that Man City had, especially with Aguero. So having Julian there, just there was that. I just loved him there. But I understand his reasons for leaving. I mean, he did have a lot of play time. It's just he wants to be a part of the big games, and truth be told, he was never really part of the big ones. No. So I understand. And at Atletico, at least he gets to be with his other Argentinian co-workers, if you want to call it that. So yeah, no, I'm happy for him, but I'm not happy for me and Man City.
Jonathan in the chat has a question for you. How late did you stay up after the World Cup final?
I mean, it was early here. Not only that, but fun story, I also had the flu when the World Cup final happened. So having the flu and then being nervous the entire game is not a good mix.
No, it's not.
It's really not a good mix, especially when you have flu medication. That flu medication makes you nauseous already as it is.
Yep.
So nerves, flu medication, the flu itself, and then crying. That's not a good mix. So
you needed all of the Pedialyte that day.
Oh my God. But you know what? If I didn't have the flu, maybe we wouldn't have won. So I'm just gonna go. It was a necessity.
Ooh.
It had to happen.
I love that, man.
It had to happen. But no, I didn't say too late.
There's nothing better than just like, and obviously better. I'm just having fun with the word better. There's nothing better than superstition in football because all logic goes out of the window with some of that stuff. And the perfect example is we did the first watch along we did for SOB was Man City 3, Aston Villa 2 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And at halftime, we were all just like crumbling and having a meltdown, and we're like, "Screw it, all of us change." So we all
and I was the first one to do it because like after Aston Villa scored their second goal, I was like, okay, you know what? This is not the vibes. This is not the vibes. Like, and then we scored the first goal, and then I was like, okay, everybody go change your shirts now. Everybody go change your shirts right now. Whatever you're wearing that's City related, it's got to be different.
Not working.
Was that the final? Not the final. The last day of the Premier League.
Yep.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that was my birthday that day.
Oh, is your birthday too?
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. Did you have the flu there too?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I did not. But you know what's funny? Champions League final against Chelsea. I was at my buddy's house, and we did the exact same thing when we were losing. We said, "All right, change shirts and see if that would work." It didn't work for us.
It didn't work. Okay. All right.
tried.
Well, before we get you out of here, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this match against Ipswich. How do you think it's going to go?
I mean,
and a score prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a hard game for us. Not trying to say that Ipswich is
Con cuidado.
not
Con
trying
cuidado.
to say. No. Look, hey. You know, okay. You know what? You're right. Because you know what? Liverpool didn't destroy them either. Okay,
Wow.
So I think we should still keep our guard up, but I think we will be able to win that game. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I'd say probably like 3-0. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited to see the newly promoted teams play. So I'm excited to watch that game for sure. And I like their kits too. Their away kit's actually really nice.
Yeah,
Except
I agree.
for the Ed Sheeran sponsor, but you know, whatever. We won't go there.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not a fan of the sponsor. Jonathan here in the chat says, Pep, quotations, let's respect our opponents as they put up 5 in the first half. I'm here for it. I did see some wild stats on them, though. That they had some wild, crazy, like their top and like just for the first week in pressing stats. Like apparently they were really getting it with Liverpool in those types of metrics.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a bit scared about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go in there really motivated. They just got promoted. It's almost like they kind of have nothing to lose. So they're just going to go in there and just do the best they can. Also, we all know Calvin Phillips is there now. I would like for him to have some kind of redemption arc over there just because of the crap he's been going through. So, you know, I'm rooting for him. But besides that, yeah, no, destroy them. We're going to destroy them.
I don't know if Crunk, as Crunk comes in, did we touch on maybe how many total kits do you have? Do you have those metrics?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I think I don't have the exact number, but it's like looking like around 150.
Nice.
Yeah.
Papa, get a spreadsheet going.
No, yeah, it's bad. No, yeah, it's bad. But I mean, to be fair, I've been collecting since 2018, so
Dope.
You know, and I have attachment problems, so I don't let go. I don't let things go. Only to my jerseys.
That's fair.
That's real player speak. That is real player speak right there.
Yeah.
Oh, did Crunk freeze?
Yeah, I think Crunk's frozen again. He's going in and out. Jonathan in the chat, Fed's the plug.
I try. But yeah, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see all the shirts that I have on there. I mean, I don't have literally every single one posted on there, but you'll see my Argentina collection. I literally have them all folded, hung on the wall with the Argentina kit and the World Cup trophy next to it. And yeah, it's a lot.
So that Argentinian challenge that you had
I can pan around and
oh yeah, there we go. Look at that.
There it
Oh,
is.
that's dope.
Yeah,
And that's all of them.
that's all 26 players.
That's wild. And you specifically went club for each of them.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I had to wing was their goalkeeper Armani. He plays for River Plate, and I could not find that goalkeeper kit anywhere. So the best I could do was to get the Adidas template for that goalkeeper kit, and then get everything else separately, like the River Plate badge, the sponsor, the name, and everything. Do it all from scratch.
That's crazy.
That was the real challenge right there, trying to get that one done that way. But yeah, I made it happen, and yeah.
Have you thought about doing any other challenges or doing the inverse? Like, let's say picking the treble winning team and doing it all in the different nationalities?
I actually did think about that, but the Argentina one cost a lot of money, so I think I think I need some more time for that one.
Yeah, that makes sense, bro.
But I
now
did think about it. I did think about it. 100%.
that would be so clean, like on another wall somewhere. I mean, obviously you got some great, photos and memorabilia behind you. But for me, the moment I see that, I was like, yo, the inverse would be dope. Just a Norway Hollands kit, like a Spanish Rotary kit. That would be clean as hell.
Yeah, well, I already got Julian Alvarez Argentina, so I got one.
Dope.
He's like, I'm sorry. I'm on there. I'm on there.
Oh, and so it begins.
Yeah.
So, like, is there like one specific kit that you're just like, I will never let this go. Like I will guard this with my life. Like, I don't keep, like, whoever they are, like, they come into my life and they say, like, this has got to go, but I won't let this one go.
That's a tough one because I feel like that about most of them. But I have an Argentina Maradona tribute jersey that I got from Classic Football Shirts. I think that would probably be one of them for sure that I probably will never get rid of, just for that, because there was also the kit when they won the Copa America. Mm-hmm. And they played a game. I think it might have been like an international friendly right before the Copa America in 2021, where they wore like that tribute jersey from Maradona. Because it was only been a year since he passed away at that point. So probably that one.
Jonathan in the chat. Krunk, get yourself a fiber optic connect.
I can read, Lando.
Facts.
I can read. My whole motor just dropped. Like, the whole internet was just like, yeah, I'm tired. So give me a minute. So I appreciate this is not a great way to do this because I have no idea even what you guys have been talking about for the last like 5 minutes. But Fed, I truly appreciate you for your time. We will definitely have to have you back on. And Dick, we have you on another time for a real episode or on the Lit Stream again, whatever. But you have a good time. Wait, what was your prediction? I didn't hear. Like I said, I was gone.
Oh, I said a 3-0 for City.
I like it. Another clean. Yeah. Oh man, if we get back-to-back clean sheets, I'm gonna be obnoxious. So I like that. I like that. That's great energy. All right. Well, please plug yourself one more time before we get you out of here.
Yeah. So I am Nutmeg City FC on literally all platforms. Well, when I say all platforms, I mean YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Hey,
so all the platforms on which you operate.
Yes, correct. Yes. YouTube is the primary one where I do most of my content. But then if you want to see some cool photos of jerseys, Instagram will be the place. And TikTok, if you're bored, go ahead and check it out.
If you're bored, it's crazy. Yeah. All right, homie. We appreciate you. I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
All right, since my internet hates me, I want to get our guests back on before I crash. So, Shady Gang, please bring it up. So this guy, we've been following him for a while, and I enjoy his tweets. There have been a whole bunch of people that this year I'm finally like reaching out to them, and I'm be like, hey, come on our show, please. And so he was one of them, and so I'm super excited to connect with him in a digital person. So Shady Gang, please give it up for the homie Jonathan.
Yo.
What's up, Shady Gang?
We got Banter Pub in the building, y'all.
The pub, what up?
Represent.
We out here.
So I know that my co-host, like we will definitely call Moves the Podfather, but to me, to y'all are the Podfathers to me, because like I've never no like, and I mean like no bullshit, like I mean, because y'all were the first set of black men that I saw talking about footy, and like in a way that made it seem like, oh, this is accessible to me. So like that means the world to me. So to have you on right now, bruh.
I'm honored. I'm glad we were that much of an influence, and I'm glad that we were able to see you shine like here, like right now, because this is dope. This is dope to be with a bunch, not only a bunch of other black folks, but like city fans too. Yeah, because I catch hell. I catch hell in the club,
All
man.
the time. All of the time. On all the hell.
But every single time we keep winning, so ain't nothing
Man,
they can do about it. So no, I'm
Urge.
really blessed and honored.
Love it.
Blessed and honored to be
Love
up
it.
here.
Love it. I actually had a nice little banter back and forth with a Liverpool fan at my job. Just talking to this random guy, and I could just hear like it was like the most delicate English accent too. So I was just like, "Who is this rich person a fan of?" And then he was just like the most historically successful team of all time, and I was in my brain I knew exactly what he was talking about, but I played dumb. I literally played so dumb. I was like, Nottingham Forest? Wait, who? And then he was just like, Liverpool, and I was just, and honestly, my next statement was, your accent is not as aggressive as most Scousers. And he was like, oh no, I grew up in the Isle of Man, but Liverpool is like the closest part to us, so that's how I'm a Liverpool fan, blah 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 blah. But I was like, all right, cool, nice chatting with you. And he's like, whenever you want to repent. I was like, for what? We're the successful ones. Grandpa talking about the 70s and the 80s.
21st century right here.
Talking about your grandparents' champions, like your European championships.
Jimmy Carter. We ain't talking about Jimmy Carter era right now. We're
not talking about Margaret Thatcher right now.
But also, it's funny because I like to pick and choose when I want to face history, because my show bros will tell you, last year I started a beef with Luton Town because of the fact that they
78,
because they relegated us back like 25 years ago. And I was going at them too. I was going at them
in the Crackerjack ass stadium and do this, bruh.
But like, come on now. You're supposedly like you were a Premier League team, and you can only fit 12,000 people in your stadium. Like, come on now, guys. Mm-hmm. Like, you literally have to walk through a grocery store to get into your stadium. Like, come on, guys.
Insufficient, and like kind of like a hive mind. You know what I'm saying? Because when history comes up, it's not like city's been around for just as long as most of these clubs, but that don't count until you win. Because now we're winning, now they go back to history. It's like a little back and forth that people be playing around with, but we winning now, so that's all that matters. Again,
shout out to the blood money, all y'all. Please go get some gas tonight if you need to. We need to get another player in the winter.
We don't need another player now that Gundo's coming back. My man,
is he though? Like if that fraud lied to us all, and you know who I'm talking about, that fraud fab
on site. If that man lied to me, because my first question was like, oh, are they gonna put him back on the leadership council so he can wear the armband? Like, because that just seems correct. Yes.
Yeah, they do, because Kyle Walker be moving mad, like, so we need somebody else to be up there.
There's no way they vote him for captain again, right? There's no way.
Check it though. LB jokingly tweeted a couple hours ago, and shout out to LB. What if he didn't pass his medical?
No, don't put that on us right now. We're in the Virgo's groove right now.
Like, what does that mean? What does that even mean? What is a football like? If I stick to FIFA, it's just him running on a treadmill a little bit, doing a little bit of stretching. Like, how serious is it? Like, unless you find like a heart condition that he suddenly got within the last year that he was here, like, bro, just get yourself in shape. Pep will run you a little bit. You'll be good.
Yeah, being that he came in on crutches, and was perfectly fine the first time we signed him. I think he's going to be okay. But I had a good giggle to the tweet.
Oh no, LB just so messy. I don't know. There are some of these tweets that I'm seeing people, and I'm just like, man, this is a good tweet. How do you guys think of this stuff? And this is what I need you guys for, because this isn't my stick. Those like off the brain meme fun types of things, I'm not fun. Like, I need you guys to help me with this.
Says the man named Crunk. I am not fun. I just
Crunk means I turn up. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm fun. Like, maybe not everybody enjoys my type of turn up.
Oh, so you mad when you crunk?
Oh no, I'm very happy. They can let you
know. He's very, very delightful when he's turned up. Like, it was just, this is delightful.
Oh yeah, no, it's it would take a lot for me to come at you, and if I come at you, I'm every bad guy. I think I'm the good guy in that moment when I come at people. So if I come at you, there's usually a reason. Oh man. Okay, so let's dig into this though, because this is a great start, because I'm sure this can carry over to Eric, NWSL's new collective bargaining agreement. It's huge, and what I love most about the post that they did is they even put like a lot of the stuff in the post, like what they're able to get. And like the one that sticked out most to me was basically no surprise trades, because I'm not the most tapped in with NWSL, but that was like the first thing I learned is they do not respect their players and how they handle them when it comes to player movement.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's a big contrast from when they last signed their CBA, because when they did last time, like there was some people that were hyped about it, but the majority of them were like, man, this really ain't it. This really ain't it for us. You could be getting something, but we ain't there. So I was talking to some homies the other day, and like, man, I really hope that this is like really is favorable for the players, because looking at like the minimum, it's like what $38,000 is like, that's below the average. That's like, these folks are that's almost not even, it's not even living wage. So, and my background is in like community organizing and labor activism. So I'm like, man, they gotta do better than this. Like, this is not it. So to see all these new things and how excited like the players union is, that's amazing, because these are like superstar athletes. We know this. We see them every single day. They travel and play all around the world. So to be able to get recognized in this way, because a lot of money's coming in. Like, people love watching the women's game. So they just to get that recognition in that way, and like have all those different amazing things, like particularly around trades. This is a wonderful feeling. So I'm so happy for everybody there.
Yeah, Jonathan, I agree with you so much. The tweet that Crunk is referring to, it states elimination of the draft, free agency for all, guaranteed contracts, no trades without player consent, workload management, and revenue sharing. I do want to point out a douchebag that decides to comment in here about 8 hours ago. Player freedom secured at the cost of the parity amongst the teams. Small markets will suffer. College kids will now only try out for the teams they want to play for. And what if they don't make those teams because of the cap? Dickhead. They go somewhere else and try to figure out where to play. That's the whole fucking point. And if a player doesn't want to get over the concept of, oh man, I wanted to be in New York, but now I have to settle for Indiana, guess the fuck what? Don't play the fucking sport. The dumb shit that you decide to tweet at Felix runs New York. Dumbass.
Hey, Fed, when you go to New York, beat up this person. Sorry, don't beat up this person. Sorry, no. Nope.
He's like, nope, I'm not trying to get you kind of.
Nope.
Nope.
The lit stream went to a get hit stream. Ew.
I thought you were mad when you get turned up. Like, what happened? Are you trying to fight people?
Well, I can turn up. I don't want to set anybody else up, though. That's kind of the point. Me? Yeah, I'll tag that. Just like I said earlier, I have been watching my mindfulness with beefs and coming at people, because again, I don't want to drag my delightful show bros into any situation. So like similar situation. I don't Fed. We just connected on the lit stream, and the next thing you know, I don't want to see like on Monday. It's just like Nutmeg City MC arrested. But also, I'd be like, yeah.
what jersey will Fed be
Free the
wearing?
homie, free the
Curious about
homie.
that.
Freedom.
He's like, then we would all have to put money on his books, like to bail him out. I was like,
I
y'all
got
got
you,
some
my
money
guy.
on bail?
I got
Like,
you.
Right.
At
Jonathan-
Nutmeg FC on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All the socials he uses. Get at him, please.
Free the
Like him.
guy.
He's going
Free the guy
he's going to
Fed.
need that money.
Pressure him to beat up that guy. Oh my gosh! Sorry.
so
Let's
Jonathan,
today.
kind of sticking to women's sports, but moving away from footy. Like, I've been reading a lot about the WNBA, how their players union is trying to like opt out of their current CBA. Is that something that you're able to speak to a little bit?
Yeah. I think they have I think similar to the Women's NWSL Players Association, like they can also negotiate ahead before it closes. But it's important for them to do that now because they just got a major media deal. So it then goes to the question of like revenue sharing, like how much we can get out of that. Because this last deal, you ain't gave us nothing. So it's an opportunity to like actually negotiate terms around that because yeah, women's basketball is lit,
Yeah.
unintended, and like the intention is to grow the game in the US, the WNBA. So the athletes don't have to they have to play year round, going to Europe, going to Asia, going to and maybe in the future Africa at some point, or South America. So it's like it's gonna be a amazing opportunity now because like really the WNBA can't say like the excuses that they used to make for the U.S. women's national team is like, oh well, you're not generating enough. It's like, nah, they're generating enough. Money's coming in, so we about to make it happen. And it's not even just about. I don't want to make it sound just like it's just about money, but it's about the respect to it, the validation for like we bring value to this work, and this is work for us. So like we need to be paid. We need to be paid so we can survive. We need to be paid so like we don't got to worry about that, and we can actually give folks the best show, the best product, and like this is their passion too. So yeah, I would say that. So it's good that they're able to negotiate early, because yeah, the price is always going to go up.
Right.
And one more, and particularly because I know there was the situation with Gabby Williams from France. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, why is she coming back to now? She's back in WNBA, but she didn't. She was the reason why she wasn't there was because of some of the clauses around you can't play in Europe and then also play in WNBA. Like if you can make it to the beginning of the season, then you can't play in WNBA at all. So hopefully that's something that they address too in the contract negotiations because yeah, there's a reason why Gabby Williams had to leave. And if you don't address that, then you're just reinforcing the same thing. Yeah, prioritization.
DT3 be on it. We appreciate you. All of
Yeah.
us.
Good looking out. Good looking out.
I see this hot take: Yaya Torre, best midfielder in PL history. Go on.
Now, okay. I know I'm in welcome company here.
Yes, you're in a safe space right now.
Yeah, but I honestly believe that like for his skill set, the amazing things that he did things on the pitch like no one can do. He's he's a obviously Premier League champion. He's got a Champions League with Barca. He balled out for Ivory Coast, won them their first African Nations Cup in God knows how long. And so he's got the CV for it, and just I think he's kind of underlooked. Definitely just Premier League outside of City because they don't want to give City credit for anything. We can win 10 Premier Leagues in a row, and it's like, oh well, no, 115 or so. It's like, all right. First of all, I ain't worried about them, but also it's like this. He has given so much to the game, and for who he is, and like particularly in the midfield for City, but that's in general. That why can't you recognize him as the one of the best and not the best? I think he's the best. I was going to say that he's the best Premier League player of all time, but I don't want to go too far around that because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. But Yeah, he's definitely up there. And I think with the whole the birthday cake situation,
That's
like that
exactly what I was
also
about to
brought him
say.
down too.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, those silly things aside, like when you look at him and his CV and what he's done in the Premier League, he's up there for me, top number one. But if not, he's top five.
I blame his agent. Like obviously the agent made that hot for him, and it just became what it was. I'm with you 100%. I don't want to I'm with you on Yaya needs more respect. He needs more love. But the only way that's going to work is if City starts embracing him more, if the City fans start embracing him more. And that's what kind of bums me out, because it's like, y'all can love yourself some Leroy Sané, and he left the way that he left. We've had so many players leave the way that they've left. But yeah, nobody talks about Yaya, and he has truly one of the most dominant English league seasons ever. And it angers me. It bums me out. And that I feel like right now is my biggest quarrel with being a City fan, is how they find ways to love some players and don't others. And I get that that's every team, but I don't like every team. I love Manchester City, so this is the problem that I deal with them there. And it's just like, yeah, Yaya, Sterling. It's just like how they find, even like now, how the way some people are talking about Jeremy Doku. Like it's just, I don't know, it bums me out.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Just there's a commonality amongst all three of those players.
Yeah,
You didn't
I didn't want
realize
to say
it.
it. I didn't want to
Uh-huh.
say it, but
Hey, this is what the list room is for. And also, we we talk about it all the time, and I don't know, it's a very stressful thing. Actually, speaking of NWSL's new collective bargaining agreement and what's going on at the W, uh, what are you thinking about the future of football with the congested scheduling, with all these matches that is going on right now?
yeah, I think with the controversy around the Club World Cup coming up next year and replacing the Confederations Cup, and like players getting tired. Like I was reading the article on ESPN around like how I think it was Jude Bellingham that was talking about like, hey bro, I'm tired. I went into this tournament. I went to the Euros tired. Harry Kane, which I don't have no excuses for him, but Jude I'll have a little bit of reverence for. Like, oh, I came in tired. It's like, okay, well, this is becoming a big problem. It's like injuries are mounting, and it's gonna be a point where like players are gonna have enough, or like, yeah, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much. So like, it's. I mean, the Club World Cup is a very clear profit. It's for profit. It wasn't like there's no real. Like we didn't need a Club World Cup, for example.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't need a Confederations Cup.
For it to expand like it did.
See, I think like the men don't need a Club World Cup, but I do really think that the women need a Club World Cup. Like I feel like there's a lot of WOSO chat, like
Which league is the best?
Oh, yeah, which league is the best? Like, oh, you don't have a Champions League, and like there's so many like good teams like that most Western nations have never heard of, like that are really, really good and really, really fun to watch. So I think from that standpoint, I will say that like on the women's side, yes, we do need a Club World Cup.
No, I'm with
I can
you.
agree with that.
Yeah, that the women's space needs all of the love, support, bumping. Obviously, not try to tire them out by giving them just as many matches to play as the men, but they need all of that support. Which I have some people that we're gonna be having on in future random shows where we can devote our time entirely to WOSO. But like, because we're going to be doing an episode on the UWCL in a couple of weeks, and that's definitely something that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the WSL and their new ownership, and I actually need to watch that interview that she had, because there are some people that I really do respect their mindset and they are not excited about this person and this company. And I understand why, but I feel like I still need to watch that interview to hear their phrasing and how they talk about the stuff. Because, yeah, it definitely just seems like they're more focused on reels and TikToks and stuff more than they are like building the brand or building the sport from like fans and what makes the sport as amazing as it is. And really, yeah, they should. The WSL is going to be great if everybody in England loves the sport, because they have to go to the games, and like we can watch all the games we want, but if the stadium's kind of empty, that messes up the vibe and it makes us lose appreciation for it. And so we need those stadiums packed first, and then from there, get us cool videos, get us cool docs, get us those things. But first, you need to figure out how can you pack each and every stadium on in every league that they have. So I'm just to see where they go with that.
It's building a brand.
DT in the chat says Utah beat the shit out of Crystal Palace, but those WSL clowns didn't want to talk about that one.
And they did. And they did.
And you don't.
And Utah is bad. Like Utah is real bad.
Yeah.
Well, before we get you out of here, let's get your thoughts on this match this weekend.
Well,
I
think it's a City's gonna win just because it's the defending champion versus a promoted side. I'm gonna respect our opponents and say that it'll be respectable 4-0. It better be 4-0 because I'm that last of my.
Did you just hear this man? He said, "I'm gonna be respectful," and then said 4-0.
I agreed with every word he said. I'm missing what
Oh, okay.
Because if we were being disrespectful, we would have hanged 12 on him.
That is disrespectful.
That might happen. But I'll be respectful. Ipswich is a good team. They press well. So that might be 3-0 instead of 4, but that is what it is. And again, I need them to do well, particularly Edison, particularly Akanji, particularly Phil Foden, because I'm currently dead last in my fantasy league, and I need to points right now. So,
thanks for reminding me. I need to check my lineup, because I definitely don't think I adjusted it after I made some moves.
That's my prediction.
Okay, I like that. All right. Well, before we get you out of here, please plug yourself and the things that you're up to.
Yeah. So you can find me on Twitter. I wish I had a consistent one for all social media, but I don't. Twitter is Jalingu, just first initial J, my last name, Malingu. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Velvet Hoop, based off of the Hyperriser commercials from Kevin Durant in 2010. So you can find me there. And no, I think the one thing that is World Cup. So the World Cup 2026 is coming up, and we've been working with a lot of like the supporter groups in all the host cities, because we want a World Cup that really caters to working people. It's similar to like occasions when the Olympics come, folks come in, do their thing, and go, and everybody just is there picking up the pieces. Like we can actually do this in a very collaborative way and cooperative way, whereas like there's mutual benefit. So that's kind of what we're trying to do on the national level and in the host city level. That's in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. So definitely down if you are a supporter group in any of the big host cities, and you're trying to like work together to figure out like how do we make this beneficial to all of us, holler at me, because the more the merrier.
Let's go. I love that.
So I'll be hollering at all of y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all at each World Cup game if you go. But if not, I'll catch y'all on the streets.
Yes.
Oh, for certain.
All right, homie. You have a great rest of your evening.
Peace out, Shadies. Laters.
Oh. All right. time for our final guest. I'm excited. KC, double stand up. We out here because we got Tom Bomb, and now we Shady Gang. We have our guest, Eric Wahl. Yeah.
Evening, gentlemen.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I heard a little bit before I went into the back room about my Twitter, so I'm worried.
Well, I mean, no better time than the present, right,
Exactly.
Lando?
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely, guys. Another wonderful segment of Explain Your Tweets. Obviously, like always, brought to you by Lloyd Soccer, official sponsor of the Greenville Citizens, kicking it since 1983. Boys, hats from Lloyd Soccer, made specially there. The second kit I'm getting this year, I will be getting it from there. They have everything you need. Lloyd Soccer. They have stores in Columbia, stores in Greenville, and a store in Atlanta, as well as Mount Pleasant out there in Charleston, South Carolina. So we move. Eric. Oh, Eric. Twitter at Ziplamac. Am I right?
Yes, that is a Turkish word. I used to live and work in Ankara, Turkey. I was an English teacher. Ziplamak is a Turkish verb that means to jump around.
Okay, fun.
I love it. There you go. At Ziplamac on Twitter. Let's go ahead and start with the first one here. On August 10th, you tweeted, NBA is showing the U.S. men's basketball team medal ceremony, but they wouldn't show the U.S. women's national team medal ceremony. In this essay, you better believe I will... ... This tweet got 6,500 likes. I also want to follow up before you explain your tweet. This is a gem. This is why you guys should follow this man. Someone tweets and says, I watched it on NBC, in which Eric says, not live, you didn't.
No, that's my favorite kind of reply is like, what you just said and experienced didn't actually happen. Oh, okay, all right. Like,
Cool.
here in Realidad, yeah. They deserved it. They deserved it. And we got like a little hinky sort of clip, and then they went to, oh my God, was it breakdancing? They went to something else. And I just thought that was not great. I know that originally the plan was to like to show the game on like a different subsidiary network, like USA or something, and then they put it on like Big Boy Network, which is great. That's the right idea, but stick with it. Yeah. We saw like all three medal ceremonies for all three like medal presentations when the men's basketball championship was over, and I mean, the kid in me loves that because I used to like play Fisher Price Olympics and stuff, and I had a Commodore 64 that had an Olympics game, and you got to hear like the national songs from all the different countries. So that, I don't know, appeals to the dork in me. But we don't get to see that with women who, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, their schedule was grueling. Like, this is not how people normally play soccer. And it was like they were there like a little over 2 weeks, and they just had a crazy schedule. I mean, like, and because they were winning, hooray! But you're gonna wear people out, especially. And I will admit, I was a little worried that like Emma Hayes is not swapping people out, and people are trying to explain to me like, here's what she's thinking. Like, oh, thank you, but all this stuff about pain caves had come out.
I can read about pain caves on my own time. Thank you.
and I thought, I see where she's coming from, but I don't. Oh man, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna edit my head. I don't want to hear about that because I like you, and that sounds terrifying and torturous, and I don't know if I want to clap for that. And maybe it works, but I think there are better ways to get strong play out of your players. And I think we're very lucky that it worked out. But there were times in that last match that, I was worried.
Yeah.
Haran was haranning, and I worried. I mean, we pulled it out in the end, but I think we were lucky to have done so. Well, I mean, cheers to them. They all deserve like a lengthy break, and we got some really great kind of ridiculous celebration videos after it. So that's always worth it.
Yeah.
Eric, I really, really, really enjoyed the Gold Zone during the Olympics. I thought Peacock and NBC did a tremendous job with this particular feature. I joked with it with the boys on a previous episode. I felt like all throughout the Gold Zone to give me that opportunity to see every American possibly going for it. I
Yes.
truly, in my heart of hearts, felt like it was one of the most patriotic moments I've had in a long, long time with some of the shit that's happening in this country. And so, did you get a chance to get the Gold Zone experience?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
I tend to run hot and cold with Olympics coverage, but I feel like they did Paris right. And this is the first time that I could see any event that I wanted to. I could find it. I could tape it if I wasn't going to be awake. And then I would get like commentary that reminded me of the things that like historically I loved the most about like being involved in the Olympics. And it really is, it corresponds to a lot of ideals that I was brought up with about why the Olympics are important. And those moments when even the sense of a kind of national unity can feel frankly good, and we haven't had a lot to feel good about these days, and so I'll take it where I can get it. But I thought the coverage was great. I think there's always room for improvement, but this time, like as opposed to more recent Olympics, when I could definitely point to something saying like, oh, they really dropped the ball here, except for maybe the women's soccer awards ceremony. I don't really have any complaints. I think it was a great setup. I always like when I think about like my favorite Olympics. My all-time favorite Olympics is '92 in Albertville, France, and I think like I really like what the French do because the French are going to French it up, and they did, they definitely did.
Definitely
You're
did.
gonna remember it, and gosh, I even knew the names of some of those French drag queens that angered so many people, but I felt like there's a lot of representation there that I didn't necessarily expect. So
Yeah.
all of my intersecting niche groups had stuff to talk about.
Man, like that moment where they had the metal band and the opera singer, like that,
Yes.
and there's like blood coming off of the
Veins
buildings
shooting
and
up.
stuff. Like I was just like, this is the craziest, coolest thing I've ever seen.
Everyone was included.
Like I loved it. Like, yeah, they had Assassin's Creed in it. It was like, okay, I guess. But yeah, no, it was
Right,
I was in New York.
Why not have a mechanical horse run down the middle of your river? Sure.
Right, like that was cool. Like all of it. I was in New York for the U.S. tour, and my friend and I was like, "Yeah, I have something to do, but honestly, yeah, let's watch this live." And so we did. We watched it watched it all live, the entire thing, and it was so fun to watch because it was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I learned things that I didn't know while I was watching. I learned that like, oh, some people are really angry that they trotted out this French black rapper, but like she looked phenomenal and it was filmed amazingly. Or Yisul, who sang at the very closing in this like stunning black dress, but like very simple, just like her, a microphone and a spotlight, and she sang "I Did It My Way," which was really just the French saying to everybody else, "Yes, we did." And there were French people who were upset about that, and I kind of love that. Like, did you not get what she's saying here in this song? And so those are the kind of like international experiences that I love in sports broadcasts. And I love that I have friends who like don't tune into a lot of international sporting events. And when they do, they have questions if they're, watching it from Bumble Truck, Kansas, and they're like, well, what exactly was the thinking here? There's a bunch of headless women singing with what is happening? And so then like that opens the door for a little bit of like historical conversation. And I don't know. I just really enjoyed this Olympics a whole lot. It didn't hurt that we won so many things, but like these are all the things that correspond to me anyway with when we are at our best, and we are working as a team, and there are all of these thematics about like what makes a team strong, what we learn during the Olympics, always like all of the like interpersonal stories of these athletes who've like strived to get where they are, and um, it 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 feels weird in my mouth even right now to say those are the kind of things that make me proud to be American when I know how fraught our politics are right now. Um, but that feeling corresponds to things I felt as a child that I have a larger worldview now, but I still get that memory trigger. And I think what lies within that channel is hope, and we all need that.
Mhm.
And that's a great segue to this next tweet. Eric, I am a young father. I have a son who's going to turn 5 in September and a son who just turned 1 July 5th. So I always ask for anyone who has it around me to tee the boys, and anyone in the chat, get in my DMs, pass me some wisdom. I don't know what the hell I'm doing around these parts. I say to you, this tweet, I showed it to my wife. I read it over. I've thought about what it could possibly mean, and ultimately I want to go to the source. On July 3rd, like my mom used to say when she told me to clean my room, quote, sometimes it has to get a little messier before it gets better, end quote. I think justice works this way too.
Oh, wow. You found a good one. She did used to say that because I was the worst at cleaning my room, because I felt like in order to do a good job, I had to go through everything, like every piece of paper, and then I'd reminisce about it, and then by that time, like hours had gone by. By the time I was done, that room was spick and span. When I wrote that, and it's related to a lot of deleted tweets because I am an expert deleter. It was in relation to the San Diego Wave. And yeah, and
There we go.
that's a big thing for me, because I know people who work with the San Diego Wave who I have very high opinions of, and I'm not like acquaintances with Jill, but I've been at events with her. I took a pretty important picture with her at the Soccer Hall of Fame. Her partner is from Kansas City, and I have a lot of respect for her and for what she's achieved. I've never been an employee of hers, but when I see something that is concerning to me, and then is sort of backed up by 4 other people with very similar work circumstances, and I don't know if it has to do with her specifically. To me, the impression that I got was it has more to do with the general working environment there at the time. And when you're at the top of that, of course, you bear some responsibility, whether or not you were aware of it or did it yourself. And then we started to see like former players chiming in, current professional players chiming in. Sydney LaRue, who I respect very much. What surprised me the most was Carly Lloyd replying to
that was the one. That was the one.
Was replying to something that Sydney posted in a supportive way, and in my, I guess, imagined version of how I think someone like Carly would manage an organization, I thought she would have like erred on the side of being a hard ass, and I don't know her well enough to conclude that. And so to see her say something, and it was like understandably vague, if that makes sense, in supporting what Sydney had said. But I remember she had a heart emoji, and she said something like, we all went through some stuff. That kind of thing made me stop and reconsider a lot of things that I had presumed about Carly Lloyd. And it's well known that she and I don't agree on most things, but when someone has proven themselves on the field as a player the way she has, like I absolutely think she should be in the Soccer Hall of Fame. So I'm glad to see her on the nomination list. She deserves that. I just wish she weren't like mean to people. Like I don't think that the path to success necessitates being a dick. I don't like. That's just me. but some of her reactions to things tend to be, at least online, because I was on the receiving end of some not very nice stuff. She implied that I was a bully, and I'm thinking like, but I'm punching up. And anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, when I wrote that tweet, I was thinking of what sound like some pretty in need of investigation issues with the wave, and I don't benefit from ragging on them, but I think it's the kind of thing that when it's allowed to continue happening, and I mean people chatter all over the place and you hear all kinds of things, it kind of is asking for a wider conversation, maybe some wider oversight, because a lot of folks who read the Sally Yates report, and when that came out, Grant stayed up all night reading it and emailed it to me. He gave me assignments a lot. He's like, I need you to read this, and then we need to talk about it. And so I looked, okay, fine. And I said fine before I saw how many pages it was.
Yeah.
300 some pages, like, oh, dude. But I read it, and we talked about it. He gave me some context because he was familiar with more of the people named in it than I was at the time. And Jill is mentioned in it, but it's more of a collective problem than any one person. It is to what degree do you bear responsibility for something, not necessarily because you did it, but because you overlooked it or you passed it down the pike, and made it someone else's problem. That's where maybe in your head, your desire to not offend someone actually makes things worse because you didn't address it immediately. That's the kind of thing that kind of cries out for oversight to me. But in order to get there, right, like playing in your room, it's got to get a little messy first. Yeah. And people don't like that, and they don't want bad press, but like
they want to know who ordered the code red at the same time.
Yes, yeah, and I understand that like the public's going to be the public. They want to know like who's the culprit, and they want blood immediately. But that's not how we do things. That's not how things get solved. I don't think you're ever going to be able to say like this was all Jill Ellis's fault, and so if we get rid of her, then like there won't be any more problem. Well, of course not. And when the stuff first started coming out, which was like late June. Personally, I didn't think the way that the wave responded on social media helped them. And I don't think I'm the only person who thought that, but instead of saying like, hey, we take claims like this seriously, we're gonna dive into it because it's important to us. You come out with something really bitchy.
They're liars. That's a fake email. Why are you listening to them?
I look at that and I'm like, well, the person I know who works there would never write that. And like, I don't know that we'll ever know who did, but I'm pretty sure of who didn't. And then they just kind of stuck to their guns that way. And I wish that there were some PR person there brave enough to, well, I suppose they'd be risking their job, to say, you need to stop and see how this is going to look if you do this. If someone is claiming yucky work environment, and then you put out something that's like an 8th grade pissed off girl, that screams yucky work environment. I don't know a PR person in the world who would have okayed that tweet. I'm worked up. I hope it gets better because I want every single team in the NWSL to succeed. We're at a moment in women's sports that I've never seen in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. And that people like my mom, who, like, if things had been different, probably would have tried to have a career in professional women's sports, just started getting to see develop before she passed away. And I'm proud to be in a city that like supports women's sports like crazy, built a stadium, is in first place, except we don't talk about Orlando. And
Ah!
not a Marta fan today, but
There'll be
so
plenty
much
of
is
time
going
for
right
tea.
that when things are like really heating up, you're gonna have these sort of like sparks of contention and things like that because everybody wants to get a piece of something and get involved. But like the more we can like do it positively, sometimes you're gonna have to look at yourself and say like, oh, we fucked up, and we need to own that, even if the way we need to own that is gonna hurt first. I would want to be involved in a soccer organization where people are fighting to get on board and like really want to work for you. And we've seen that there are some places that have more work to do than others.
I'm really happy I chose that tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Honestly, both of your tweets so far have led to fantastic
Yes.
thoughts
Yes.
from you.
well. Let's see how the third one goes. Unless Eric, please.
I think I know which one it is.
Really?
Did it get 142,000 likes?
No, it didn't. I'm going. So that one.
Yeah, that's
what
stressful.
is that
Hold
one,
on,
Eric?
Let's not go. Let's stick here. What is that like? Having a tweet that 142,000 people like, because as many people, if that many people liked it, you definitely got half of that was vitriol.
I felt like I struck a nerve, but like interestingly, no, like yeah, there were some like kooky replies. I certainly didn't expect to like get into a back and forth with Martina Navratilova, but it ended up nice. I just felt like I knew the story of this boxer, and I'd seen everything that was going on around it, and I suppose it's what drew me into like keep watching it. It definitely got more eyes on the women's boxing, but she was getting so much vitriol based solely on her appearance, and that is the kind of thing that always sets me off. And so I had tweeted something like flip that it was like a morning tweet, and I don't think a whole lot. I don't think those through a lot, but I was just so like tired of the vitriol and said, I hope she ends up owning 51% of Harry Potter. And it was my gay people know that's a riff on Mommy Dearest and a line where she says like, I own 51%
of this company.
And I was just being silly. And holy crap. Yeah, right now that's like the most likes I've ever had on a tweet, and it has to be about something like that. But what we know this past week, JK, Joanne, I love calling her JK now. She hasn't tweeted in over a week.
Yeah,
and
right.
She's deleted 27 tweets.
Yeah.
And she had developed a reputation, for being a TERF, unfortunately, but for threatening to sue people in England anyway because of their social media laws, who said anything bad about her. So they would be forced, I guess under English law, to like post publicly, like, I said XYZ about J.K. Rowling, I'm very sorry. And like stuff, it just looked weird. So to have this coming back on her now is very fulfilling to me in a way. And
the third tweet on August 20th, Travis Akers tweets, J.K. Rowling has deleted 27 tweets since being named in a lawsuit brought by Olympic women's boxing gold medalist Amin Khalif. Rowling has now not tweeted in 13 days. You retweet. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Yes. Sometimes justice arrives in odd ways. And I think, and I don't know Imani Khalif as a person. She may not even like gay people, and that's absolutely her right. Algeria is not exactly known for pride festivals, but to me the central issue was she was being denigrated even for her accomplishments because of something over which she had no control, but mainly because of how she looked. And it started leading into these weird offshoots about like, so you approve of men beating on women? And just like, what? Oh yeah, this is Twitter.
Right.
But like I have been on the receiving end of crap on Twitter, and it's not fun. And we haven't seen anything from her or from the Algerian Sports Commission. There's a great Twitter account, Algeria FC, that like keeps us up to date on all things going on with her. She's been nothing but respectful and straightforward and earnest. I have a lot of respect for her, and I think she may be able to take advantage of European defamation laws in a way that will finally change the way some people handle themselves online, and that can have really wide-ranging positive consequences.
I completely agree with you. It's sometimes I think of it to where certain people of certain fan bases have assumed that certain charges, certain amounts of charges, has equated to certain amount of definitive actions. And
See, you're not going to get him on this fight.
I know. I'm not. I'm letting the audience and everyone who's here understand. As Shades of Blue, we're well aware of. I think there's a 1, and then there's a 1, and then I think there's a 5. I think there's something about these charges. So, Eric, do you have any stance on that? What are your thoughts on 115?
Oh man, I thought if I even say that number on this podcast, I'm going to get creamed. But then again, you didn't bring up my Premier League team, so thank you. And the players didn't have anything to do with that. Is how I feel about that. I think that like the legal trains are coming, but like, and I have thought about like if I were a fan of this team, like what would I be feeling right now? Because like you see the team that you love, like the front office doing shady business, like fans didn't have anything to do with that. Players didn't have anything to do with that. Your favorite player didn't have anything to do with that. But then it's this question that we've seen in some other circumstances too. But then in some ways, like the team gets penalized when the team didn't do it. Or like what happened to the Canadian women's soccer team
Drones.
and the drones. Like the players weren't zooming those drones around. And what, they got docked 6 points or something like that. You're aiming your guns in the wrong direction, to me. The 115, like that is kind of shame the front office brought on itself. And I feel like that's separate from the team's performance. I mean, it can't help psychologically. It can't possibly not affect them in some way. Fans either. But it's one of those things like you stick by your team if it's really your team. And I say this as a sporting Kansas City fan. It's like there are ups and downs, right? The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I grew up with that on Wide World of Sports all the time. And, you know, you're not always going to hoist the trophy. Sometimes you're going to be the wiping out skier. But I want to believe that, like, whatever legalities have to happen will happen. But my concern is that the price will be paid from the wrong direction, that the team will suffer penalties, or then I don't, how do you do it? I don't know. I feel like they probably will penalize the team in some way when I think they should be penalizing the ownership and the front office.
You are, and I'm on your side on this other tweet that I noticed. So, in a little extra explain your tweet here. You are quite excited about the potential of Mauricio Pochettino being the manager for the U.S. men's national team. Elaborate on that a little bit more.
Well,
hey,
I had to
Kevin
Joe moving box, but I am very pro Argentina. Grant loved Argentina. Went there frequently. I got to spend the summer of '95 there with him when he was working on his senior thesis about the relationship between soccer and politics. He had his laptop, his apartment was broken into, and he had his laptop stolen. He had weird threats from people, and he wrote a fantastic thesis. He was very big on Boca Juniors. And so I kind of adopted them because of that. I think I was just like biologically programmed. But I loved everything about the culture when I was down there. There's something about eating a juicy steak at 11 p.m. that doesn't make any sense in the United States, but it makes absolutely perfect sense in Buenos Aires. And so I've sort of been attuned to their soccer style for a long time. And I think I did not guess that Pochettino would even be in the running for this job. Honestly,
Oh, wow.
I thought they were going to try to get the French guy, Reynard.
Hervé Renard.
Yeah, I thought that was the direction they would go, since they weren't. Since Jesse March took a different job, and
let's not talk about Jesse.
Yeah, Tom. So
there's some history there, because in 1 year at Princeton, Grant got mono, and so he had to stay at the student health center for several weeks. And in the bed beside him was this kid named Jesse Marsh, and so they got to know each other by like spending weeks together in the student health center, because they were both sick. And so he's always been kind of like a friend of the family, I guess. So we want him to do well. I see the criticism, but like I'm happy for him. Like, it looks like he's making them happy in Canada. So good for him.
I just want to take the moment, Eric. I plead with you. I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just feel like I can pick your brain apart in so many other different stories and so many other different stuff. I feel like if you gave me time, I can actually get you and Tom to have a whole little Kansas City moment with you two both being from that area. Would it be okay if we try to get you on for a little special episode? I mean, I think everything you're dropping dimes right now, and just like blew my mind what you just shared.
I was just like, wow.
I have a lot of stories. I'm trying to write for the past year. I've been trying to write a book about Grant and our family, and grief. But I've kept a journal since I went to Argentina in the summer of '95, and so I go back to things to try to make sure I have it, correct accurately. And it's amazing how that slows me down, because then like my head is there and like, oh, I wish that hadn't happened that way. But there are a lot of good stories in there. And like when I get it all done, the first thing I'm going to have to do is run it by a lawyer, because I don't want to get my ass sued. But I've got a lot of stories.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Dope. That's so dope. So I couldn't say that I was doing my Big J journalism job if I didn't ask you about everything that we see in the background, as well as the kits that you're wearing. Casey Current.
Yes. Love them. Love the team. I have season tickets in two separate areas. One for if I want to sit down and like eat all the food there, and then the supporters section, which has like these brilliant railings, so you can just like stand up without actually like falling forward. Beautiful stadium. The atmosphere there is unbelievable. What I love about it, well, they named their press box after Grant, and Chris and Angie Long, who are the principal co-owners, went to Princeton with Grant. Angie went to Shawnee Mission East High School with Grant, where we both graduated. I just met up with Chris last week, talking to him about things in Kansas City. And people get proud when you're number one. But it's also really gratifying to... I don't know why this affects me so much, but to see little boys wearing women's soccer jerseys with like Dabinia on the back, or Emma Chawinga, and the supporter section, and she's from Mali, and from all appearances had a pretty harsh upbringing. And so it's just brilliant to see someone, it almost seems historical watching her, because the trick is we need to make sure we have players who can keep up with her, so she has
Mhm.
someone that has
Mhm.
to, because it almost seems superhuman. And to realize, like, we're seeing something historic, and it's something to process. And the supporters section has put my Chawinga to the beat of my Sharona, which just seems so wrong, but it works
It
beautifully.
works.
And to know that, well, now apparently we've got a rivalry with the team in Florida, but every time I'm there, I'm happy. And it feels so gratifying to know that Grant met with Chris and Angie, because they knew how much he'd traveled, how many soccer stadiums he'd been to. They picked his brain about what makes a good soccer stadium, what things are bad for a journalist when you're at a soccer stadium. What would you like to see more of in a soccer stadium? And he gave them all of this information, and they really took it to heart. There's space to add more seating. We've had our first river ball.
Let's
I was there
go.
for that. It was great. It was so great.
Thank you, Temwa Chawinga, and that is going in like a little glass case that will be at the stadium. We're developing like local regional traditions related to this,
Yes.
which to me is always the sign of a really good soccer structure.
Yep.
And we're commiserating with our sporting fans right now, and I'm a season ticket holder over there too. And it's one of those things in times that are so fraught that brings all kinds of different people together to experience some joy. And we need that. And I will always support that here in my city. I'm very proud of where I grew up. I'm represented by regional art behind me, but let's see, fingers. There we go. Thomas Hart Benton from Kansas City,
Yep.
and Roger Shimamura from Seattle, but who is an art professor at the University of Kansas, who focuses very much on the Asian American experience, and having spent part of his childhood in an unfortunate Asian internment camp during World War II. And then on this side, Birger Zanzane, who was from Sweden but was an art professor in Sterling, I think, Sterling, Kansas, which was near where my grandparents came from Germany. And I think, like, growing up, I couldn't wait to get out of here because I hadn't been anywhere, and Grant was very much the same way. And so after Grant passed away, and I'd been living in Seattle for like 15 years, I was traveling around a lot, doing grant-related things. I'd come back to Kansas City several times, and each time I had, it just clicked. Like, people here are genuine, they're earnest. They're some of the nicest people you could ever meet. And I think I just needed that at the time. So I lost my mind and bought a house I had never stepped foot in, and moved back, and zero regrets. I love this place so much.
I love that. Well, this truly has been a pleasure. Like Lando said, I will be in touch because we would love to have you on again and
For sure.
just pick your brain and talk. And because there's still so much from the current that we really haven't touched. So yeah.
And thank you for everything that you're doing for life, for sport, and continuing the things that Grant's embodied. You know, I'm an advocate and a listener to the Levitard Show, and Chris Whittingham gave a wonderful breakdown, and it hit me. So I'm appreciative for what he's brought to everything. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you all.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well,
we'll have to actually like meet in person since like
yes,
you live in like actually in the same metropolitan area.
Barbecue's on me.
Needs to happen.
Perfect.
Enough said. Well, Eric, feels a little weird saying this, but please plug yourself and the things that you do for people who might not know you.
Sure. Right now, I'm doing a lot of advocacy work for the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. John Ritter, to a certain generation, is known as for being a comedic actor on Three's Company. I used to tell my younger friends he was also in Bad Santa, and then like, oh yeah. And his wife, Amy Yazbek, started this group to focus on advocacy and raising awareness of aortic health issues and the importance of family genetic testing. And every year they have a team that runs in the New York City Marathon. They'll be doing that again this year. And right now, I'm in Kansas City doing a lot of freelancing stuff. I'm on Twitter at Ziplomac and on Instagram at Wahl. Working on a book, and with any luck in the next month or so, I'll have some positive job news. But I can tell you, like, job hunting is a biatch.
Mhm.
Well, all right. Well, you have a good rest of your evening, and like I said, we will definitely be in touch soon.
Yes,
Happy to.
absolutely.
Yes.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
Wow, wowie!
What a show!
Lit stream of the season.
Woo! Woo!
Let's go!
Feels good.
fire.
Feels good.
Shout
Feels
out
right.
to Ben,
Feels good. Feels right.
Jonathan, Eric, like such a great show. Again, everybody who is watching on Twitter, FanFest Live, YouTube, Twitch, the people watching the replays, the people listening to the audio version, appreciate, love all of you. We will be back for the kickoff show for City versus Ipswich. There will be plenty more going on. I am Crunk Chocolate. These are my show bros, Lando, Tom Bomb. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.